Now then, she's one of our all-time favourite guests who never fails to make us smile, and so it's fitting that, look at that setting. The Miriam Margolyes' new film is called H for Happiness. Oh, we were just saying then, we think Miriam would make an amazing teacher.
You would be a brilliant
Apart from the fact that she doesn't really like children. We'll come on to that in just a moment.
Yeah,
joins us live from Tuscany. We'll talk about that in a minute as well, because it looks utterly beautiful. Let's talk about the film first of all. This is a little girl who's sort of setting out to solve the problems of the world, but initially starting with the problems within her family. And there have been some fairly traumatic things. And it is that assignment set by the teacher that you play that sets it all off.
That's right. And it was a lovely, lovely film. So sweet for everybody with a family. You know, some people, unfortunately, they have families. They've got to look after them and entertain them. And this is the way to do it. Take your kids to see H for Happiness. It's so lovely.
It is a lovely movie. And she's a teacher. She's quite a quirky teacher. We saw on the clip there, she's got this sort of eye that goes around and round. How did they make that happen?
It was quite a business. I had to roll my eyes for about 10 minutes. I was feeling quite queasy at the end of it. And the camera was very, very close and took shots of my rolling eye. And then, in a brilliant, I don't know, electronic way, they put it into my eye on screen, and it looks as if I'm, well, balmy, really.
It's so clever.
It looks really,
it really
good.
Does.
And I suppose for you, this is because you're an Australian citizen, aren't you? So you've got a house there as well. This is like a no-brainer for you to do this movie.
Well, I was thrilled, especially because it meant going to Western Australia, where I've never been, and, well, not to that part. And it's a little town called Albany. And if you want a little place to go for a holiday, it's just perfect.
And so, obviously, you've said in the past it's not your favourite thing to work with children. I guess when you're playing a teacher, it's unavoidable here. But how was this experience?
I have to say they were adorable. They're the sweetest little people. Wesley and, what's her name? Daisy. Yeah, I nearly forgot her name, for goodness sake. Do you notice how I'm being very careful this morning?
You really are.
You are.
We really appreciate it.
What's happened to you, and where is Miriam Margolyes?
Well, bursting to get out, actually.
We'll come to that, I'm absolutely sure.
I have to tell you, they were a delight, and I think they're terrific actors too. So I got to know them a bit, and I think that's the secret with kids. You've just got to know them. You've got to see them as people rather than competition.
So, so we can't go any further without talking about that beautiful backdrop. I mean, you are in Tuscany, which is where you've sort of locked down. I mean, there are worse places to be locked down.
Beautiful, Miriam.
Well, my partner and I and a friend bought this place in 1973. So I've been here a long time and I love it. It's a little, sweet little village called Montesi in Tuscany, and it was a run-down farmhouse, and we put in water, electricity, etc., and I love it. And the people are sweet and they put up with me, and I'm just so happy here. And it was a great place to escape from COVID. So far, we hope. But I haven't had a vaccine because there's all this trouble with vaccines. Entirely the government's fault, of course. And
Italian or British? Because of course we know that the AstraZeneca jab was safe and the blood clotting thing was, you know, sort of all a myth. But a lot of Europe paused its vaccination and fell into that trap. So is that why you haven't been vaccinated over there?
That's right. I'm trying to get one. I have to, obviously. Well, I was going to say something a bit rude, but I won't. But I have to. Curry favour, let's put it like that. In fact, the Italian government says that everybody in Italy is supposed to be vaccinated. So eventually I'll get one. But I want to get back because I'm going to be on Call the Midwife, I hope.
I know.
And I missed one lot. I missed one lot. By the way, you were talking about eggs just now, and I was very envious of the little nuggets that you were nibbling away. I want to just mention that Kids for Kids, which is a charity I support, kidsforkids.org.uk, you can buy, for 15 quid, you can get a cockerel and 3 chickens, and they provide eggs for old people in Darfur, where people are desperate, absolutely desperate. So please think that's another way of spending your money at Easter.
That's
and
a lovely
help
idea.
Very good
nice,
idea.
nice idea.
Very good
And,
idea.
and you're not with your partner. You haven't been able to spend this part of lockdown with your partner.
No, it's absolutely maddening. She's stuck in Amsterdam having a cataract operation, and I'm here just sort of sitting in the sun and enjoying myself and missing her very much, actually, because when you get to my age, I'm going to be 80 in 2 months, and you haven't got long left. You've got to make the most of it.
Don't say that.
I wouldn't
How
say
are
that. I
you
think
going to
you're
mark the
indestructible.
occasion? I know, exactly. How are you going to mark that occasion then? So 80 in 2 months, which is extraordinary because it just can't, looking at you, it just doesn't seem possible somehow. Are you going to do anything? Can you plan a party?
Nobody can plan anything. We don't know where we're going to be. We don't know if we can go out and meet people. It'll centre around food and love. That's all I can say.
Sounds like a party to me.
You haven't been out on your own there, though, have you?
No, I've got a friend who's hiding in the kitchen. My old friend Liz Hodgkin. I was at school with her and at university, and her mother won the Nobel Prize. I don't mix with rubbish, She's the real deal. She's the real deal, and she's a wonderful cook. We're going to have risotto this afternoon
my gosh.
after I've spoken to you. Because we're an hour ahead, you see. I may not look an hour ahead, but I am.
Do you find that this time sort of, because you're always working, you're always really busy, and I guess sort of being there because you can't travel back until you've had the vaccine, you don't want to travel back until you've had the vaccine, it's sort of forcing you to sit still in one place for a period of time. How are you finding that?
Horrid. I don't like sitting still. I'm learning Italian, and that's good for me. And I'm ringing up people and talking to people, and I'm doing voice work. I've got a little studio rigged up in the back stable out of 5 IKEA curtain rails and 5 IKEA duvets, and I'm crouching under the duvet and doing Wallace and Gromit. So I've got something on my mind.
What other voiceovers have you done?
Well, I've got one out at the moment, which is a hemorrhoid suppository.
Lovely. But you started off doing something far sexier than that. You were the voice of the Cadbury's Caramel Bunny, weren't you?
I was the original Cadbury's Caramel Bunny, and I remember because they kept saying, make it sexier, make it sexier. And first thing in the morning, it's not what's on your mind, really. So I had to kind of dig deep into my contralto register. Plus, she had to have a sort of a country accent, a bit like the lady who was telling you about the competition just now.
Josie,
she had a sort of little bit of a sort of rural sound. And that was, hello, Mr. Rabbit. It was just sort of a bit cuddly. At least that's what I hope.
Didn't you possibly get that job out of a couple of other tapes that you might have done before that were slightly less family orientated?
Yeah, I thought that I was supposed to be very careful this morning on this show.
He's poking you with a big stick, let me tell you that.
Your chap told me, now don't say anything nasty. So
You
I
never
did
say anything nasty, but you're always naughty, and we love that.
Well, I did a couple of sex tapes. Sexy Sonia leaves from my schoolgirl diary. That was one of them. But I have to stress, they were audio tapes. They were not visual, and they're very exhausting because when you're simulating orgasm, as all of you out there know, it's tiring and you get a headache. It's not a question of having a headache at the beginning. You get a headache at the end. So I haven't done them again. I did the Cadbury's Bunny instead and made a lot more money because I only got paid £300 was all I got in those days. It was at the Ann Summers sex shop. I expect you know it well. And that's where I auditioned.
I love it. Oh, Miriam, I don't want to go, but we're going to have to, but you are brilliant.
We wish we were in Tuscany having risotto with you, that's
gosh.
for sure.
Stay safe, get vaccinated
Me
soon.
too. Well, you must come.
Oh,
and don't forget Kids for Kids.
Yep,
.org.uk.
We'll put that on our app for you.
No problem.
Thank you. Love to you all.
Love to you too. H for Happiness is what we're talking about. That's the movie. It's available on digital outlets from the 29th of March, including Sky Store, iTunes and Amazon.